When you play arpeggios on bass across the neck, do you repeat the notes? You can. So if I play like G major 7 across the neck, I'm playing G, B, D, F sharp, and then here G, B, D, F sharp. Yeah, if I'm gonna play a G major 7 arpeggio, if I'm like practicing it, yeah, then you can for sure, and probably that's the common thing to do. If I was playing C minor 7, then I'm playing, 1 flat 3 5 flat 7. That doesn't mean that you have to practice it like that forever, That's just like one way to do it, to know where all those notes are. And then, yeah, you can get as creative as you want to be with that. The reason I was asking was if you had any particular permutation variations of learning them. Thanks again for this. Just as an example, let's say you're practicing, for this, let's say you're practicing C major 7, so here's C major 7, and I'm just playing like the notes in C major 7, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and then, so this is like your normal C major 7 shape. But you can add in, for instance, let's see, like I like to add in the 9, so there I'm adding in the 2nd and making it more like C major 7 add 9, and that's like super melodic. You see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. And then so your descending arpeggio would look like, you could play it like that. Or add in the sharp 4. You see, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 3, and then sharp 11 at the top. Yeah, I like, just as a cool thing, I think, if you are interested in this, a C major 7 you can play as all major thirds a fifth apart. Look at this. See? I'm playing a major third, major third, major third, major third, and that's always C, E, G, B. So I really like this shape. You're just playing major thirds, and you're playing C major 7. And then you get all these cool like jumps you can do once your hand is in that position. Even playing groups of 3, not enough people practice like triplet feels. You know what I mean? Like, try practicing your arpeggios in groups of 3. You know what I mean? Not just this 1 and 2 and 3 and yeah, try because it's cool then when you're playing fills, you're going to be used to hearing threes. So then you can play like boom, like kind of practicing arpeggio, thinking of a 3 feel, you know. Even though this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm thinking. So yeah, try work on moving between 3s and 4s. Not always just like 2s and 4s. Not always 1E and a 2. Combine your 3s and 4s, yeah. So yeah, you're feeling it almost like a shuffle. If any of that helped and made sense, I don't know, I'm just talking trash. You should get into studying spread voicings of arpeggios as well, you know. So not just, that was like everything I spoke about there was in like a closed position. 1, 3, 5, 7. But you can go 1, 5, 7, 3. And that's really good to practice as well, because then you can do all the inversions of that, you know. So instead of always 1, 3, 5, 7, go 1, 5, 7, 3. And then you can do all inversions of this, you see. So yeah, that's cool. I'll do that slow. So 1, 3, 5, 7. Now you're doing 1, 5, 7, 3. And then the next inversion of that will be this. 3, 7, 1, 5. And then the next would be 5, 1, 3, 7. And then 7, 3, 5, 1. So that is like C major 7. Those are all the notes in C major 7. But I've just jumped. I've made the third go up the octave. And then I've played inversions of that. So yeah. Start to make bass lines with those ideas. Don't just play it as an exercise. Don't just do this forever. You know, start to play a song. You see there, I used that inversion. Instead of this, now I'm playing. That's still the same notes. You see? So could you? I don't know if you could see, but I was using the shapes from that spread voicing to play bass lines there. Instead of being locked in this shape, now I can play So yeah, I find that stuff's like super helpful to me. Can you show us how to use the 4th and 5th intervals in the pentatonic scale? For sure I can do that. This is a C major 7 chord. I'm going to use G major pentatonic. So just remember, this is C major 7 chord, and I'm playing G major pentatonic. So you got to know all your G major pentatonic in every position. So once you know this, then you can look inside of that and see where all the fifths and fourths are. So let's just take this position here. Okay? So look, here's a lot of fifths and fourths. Okay? And then here we've got again. What I would do is I would first figure out where all the fourths and fifths are. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So and fourths, and then you can say to yourself, okay, let me try play a fill, go really slow, like. Okay, so just remember it's C major 7, and I'm thinking of, G major pentatonic and the relative minor E minor pentatonic, and then I'm going boom, and then I'm sliding up to those two positions, and I'm thinking mainly of fourths and fifths. Okay. I would just get into short melodic ideas and moving them through the pentatonic scale. So if I stay here and I take those same scales, G major pentatonic, okay, instead of doing like things that sound like scales, like and then even instead of doing these kind of classic permutations like this, this kind of thing, I would play one simple idea across two strings to start off with. For instance, this, I'm going to just make up something. You see it. Okay, that's all I did. This is inside your G major pentatonic. I went. I'm going to go to the next position and play the same phrase. So now I have and then and now if I make it sound more like a fill, I would play. You see, now try make it more like flow. So now I'm playing. See, that to me sounds like a cool fill or a cool bass line. And I've never played that before in my life. It just comes from figuring out a simple melody and moving it through the positions and then making it flow like the fills you love to hear. I want to move it down the octave now, but see what I'm saying? That doesn't sound like an exercise. I played a fill, but it definitely started from, here's my G major pentatonic on C major 7, and I'm going to go up on this string and then to the next string down. So up, and then onto the next string. And then I take that to the next pentatonic position, and I do the same thing. Up and down to the next string, and then up and down to the next string, and up and down to the next string. That's as simple as the idea needs to be in your mind. You don't have to think 5 of the 7th going to the 3rd of the 2 equals the 7th of the 6th of the 3 of the 2 minor. No, literally up, next string, up, next string. And then even just that, index, pinky, index. I'm not thinking of anything. There's no music theory in my mind. All I'm doing is, first I did the shape. You see, up and next string, and then up, next string, up, next string, up. I'm not thinking of theory there. The theory helped me to work out where the notes are, but now I'm just thinking, oh, now I make it as dumb as I can. So how dumb can I make this idea? Oh, glum. I didn't have to think while I play. Because so many students have said to me, how do you stop thinking while you play? But then the same students will be like, is that the 7th of the 6th going to the 4-9 on the 3 chord? And then I'm like, if you can think of that while you play and improvise, then you are basically like Professor Charles Xavier. Do you know what I mean? You can't do that. It's not possible. So you have to make things as dumb as you can. Strip it down to things you can think about in real time. Rhythm, those things. Dynamics and rhythm is all that you can do in real time because you're able to sing it in real time. You see, I can do rhythm and dynamics in real time, but I can't go C6 to the 4 minor minus 3 while I'm playing. That's not possible. So you have to stop thinking like that. You have to work on ways to think when you initially begin practicing. Then you have to forget all that stuff and make it as dumb as possible so that you can improvise with it in real time. This is just my opinion though. But I hope you could see that I proved it, but because I did it. And there's a fill. You can like really by yourself now, any of you watching, try do that. C major 7, play all your shapes of G major pentatonic. Once you really have that under your fingers, make an insanely simple phrase in one of those positions, and then move it to every other position without thinking of the theory, just thinking of the string and whether you went up or down. That's it. I'll do it again. C major 7. Here's G major pentatonic. I'm gonna do this. You see, all I did was I started this string, I went to the next string, up, and then I went down on that string. Okay, so look. So now I'm gonna go. So now I'm gonna go. So now I'm gonna go. You see. And there you go, I played a cool fill. Then I moved it to a different string. I took the exact same concept and just moved it to the next string. I moved it to here. And now again, I just went on this string, up to the next string and down one. And now I go boo-dee-doo, doo-dee-doo, doo-dee-doo, doo-dee-doo. What about as something as simple as that? Now I go. So you could see I made up a new one there and then I moved it. It was play a note, down, up, and then to the next string. So now what I do, I take that and move it through the pentatonic scale. Next to a string. Okay, next set of string. I could spend like a practice where I just kind of spend 5 minutes taking that phrase to the whole pentatonic scale, and then working out how can I turn it into a full fill. So